So the markets
Mm-hmm.
are going bananas right now.
Okay.
They're going bananas.
Is that because of Trump and people just being unsure of shit?
I think there's a. What'd you say? Trump and what?
And people just being unsure of shit?
Yeah. So the number one thing is unsure, uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
Markets have two moods, two emotions. That's it. There's nothing in between. There's fear, and there's greed. Fear, greed.
Okay.
That's it. No left, right. It's black and white.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so right now, let me just take a step back. What's going on? So we're at the peak of the stock market in history. The stock market is at the highest levels ever. All right. Now, the majority of people that invest in stock markets are not me and you and Chris. All right. They're high net worth, very wealthy people, not just in America, globally. The richest people invest in the stock market. So what I like to tell people is, yo, get involved in the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
The way that society's been set up with the Federal Reserve, with the government, with the world, the global world, it's set up in a way where the governments of the world want to make sure the stock markets always keep going up long term. And guess what? That's what's been happening for the last 130 years in America and in the rest of the world. Germany, France, pick your country. They just keep going up. So
hold on, can we start real quick?
Yeah.
Now, I was keeping up, but then you said it again. What's going up? The stock market or just money in general? Or what? Yeah, what's going
stock
on?
market.
Okay.
The value of that company, like of Apple,
It's only
just
going
keeps going up.
Okay.
The value of pick your company, Google, going up. The value of 3M, who makes, I don't know, Scotch tape, keeps going up. The value of Caterpillar, which makes backhoes and tractors and shit, that all going up. Now, right now they're going down. So we were at the peak, and what's happened in the last 3 weeks in October, we've given back all the gains. So the market was up 10% more this year from January through September, and then this month we've dropped 10% in a matter of 3 weeks. That's a huge move in the market.
Yeah, that's huge.
Right? And so everything that people had gained this year is now gone. They've lost that money.
Awful.
It's trillions and trillions of dollars. But that's just how this market goes. Trillions up, trillions down. Trillions up, trillions down.
The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
St. James. For some reason, that sounded right coming out of your mouth, man.
I love it.
So yeah, so the markets are rattled. Technology stocks are leading the way. So like Facebook, Apple, Netflix, Amazon, Google, all just, it's like they're getting their heads bashed into the curb every day. And I think it's because they were going up so much.
Yeah, of course you can only go so high, right?
Right. What goes up must come down. And the faster you go up, the faster you come down. You know, so that's what's happening right now in the world of the stock markets. Why is this happening? I mean, there's all sorts of reasons why this is happening. The stock market is not kind of one thing, one reason. No. For example, one very simple is what I just said. They just were going up so much, and we're towards the end of the cycle. We're in a big cycle where the stock market has been running rampant, running crazy for 9 straight years. So the cycle's kind of like we're at the end of it. I'm not saying we're going into recession. I'm not saying, stocks are going down 50% from here, but we're nearing the end of a cycle. Number 2, we have a trade war going on with China. I mean, this is not that different than a real war. I mean, yes, there's no physical bodies or casualties or anything like that.
I mean, that's a difference.
It's definitely a different thing. I like how I'm trying to make it like, oh yeah, it's not that different. No, they're different. It's more like, I'll call it like a Cold War. Like we're moving into like a Cold War. It feels like almost like we're trying to mess with China. Like Trump is like people are wondering like the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. Well, why is the stock market down 600 points today? I'm looking at it on my phone. I'm like, what you mean? Why is it down 600? Why the hell isn't it down 600 points? Like, why hasn't this been happening all year? Trump takes his you know how when you take your thumb and you kind of do that into someone's face or eye or some shit, you're just kind of rubbing it in there, you take this. It's like grade school when you had some dude on the ground and you're just rubbing your fingers. Yeah. Trump is doing that with a Chinese communist leader. That's what he's doing to this President Xi. He's just like, take that. Take that. And it's just like, yo, what are you doing? He's like, I'm going to try and mess with China and screw them over. It's like, okay, great, dude. That's not helping our country.
Yeah.
You're creating more uncertainty, and stocks are going to, of course, react to that. I mean, this is 2018. Like our countries, America and China. China is the rising power. America is the power, right? The ruling power. Like they're trying to get up here, and we're like getting helped by the fact that we're getting so much, low cost labor and factories in China. And Trump is just like rubbing that nasty ass thumb into President Xi's eye and all the Chinese people's eye. And it's like, of course the stock market is going to be. This whole presidency is weird, man. Like everything this guy's doing is just weird. Zonky. That's the word. Zonky. This presidency is zonky. That's what it is, man. Like he's having a Twitter war with a porn star calling her horseface. I'm sorry. Zonky. All right. This guy refuses to admit the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, dismembered some dude with 15 Saudis and a bone saw. And he's like, no, we have a military deal worth $100 billion. We don't want to write him off. It's like, what? This dude just like put out a hit on one of his own people. Like this dude is not someone you want to be working with. He's a murderer, But he's like, no, that's normal. And then like today, and I want your opinion on what I've said so far. I said a lot. I'm sorry, dude. I'm just kind of. I just kind of like.
I'm in the moment. Keep talking.
Let's do it, baby. Today. Yesterday. He's in the Oval Office giving an interview. He's complaining about the Federal Reserve chairman. He's complaining about some dude that he nominated to run the Federal Reserve Bank. All right. And he's saying, why is he raising rates? Why is he raising rates? He shouldn't be raising rates. This is ridiculous. I do something good, and Barack Obama had low interest rates. Why don't I get low interest rates? It's like, who the fuck is this? A little kid? And then he presses all the reporters are in the Oval Office. He's sitting at his Oval Office desk where Kanye and him sat. Presses a red button after he starts bitching after he's done bitching and moaning about the Fed president. A red button. And right after the red button is pressed, everyone just like looks like a person walks through the door with a silver platter and an iced Coca-Cola on that platter and hands it to Trump and walks out. Zonky. Zonky, zonky, zonky. That's what happened. I'm just saying. Facts. All right, so let me reverse all that. Zonky is definitely the word on my mind right now. But stock market is going down. Many reasons. One is it's gone really high. But I think the second biggest reason is this trade war with China is spooking people out. All these companies Apple, your phone, that tablet over there, all this gets manufactured in China for really low cost. Then we pay $1,000 for it. If it wasn't done in China, it'd be like $3,000. You know what I mean? So, and he's now messing with that relationship. So we wonder why the stock market is going bananas. I believe those are at least two reasons, and there's probably a couple others. But anyway, that's my rant.
Okay. Now, what do I say to respond to that? I agree, or I understand. I don't know a lot about anything to give you a educated feedback.
No educated feedback. What did it make 100% sense to you?
For the most part, it's here and there parts, but it was just a lot. It's just a little overwhelming. Yeah. I don't know the Trump thing. Here's the thing. I dislike the guy, but he is kind of the funniest person I've ever seen in my life. Do you know how savage you got to be the president and press a button and make somebody come in with a Coke like a slave and just give it to you in front of reporters whose jobs are to criticize something like that, and he doesn't care? I mean, here's the thing. I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know. The uncertainty thing I think is cool because don't we need that though? Isn't the ups and downs better? Because if it keeps going up, it's just gonna crash. I don't know. I'm just asking.
Right. I mean, it's a good question, man. Very, I like that.
Because I'm just assuming
in general, we want ups and downs because otherwise it won't be natural. Yeah. Like look at the weather, up and down. Look at me and your mood, Chris's mood, up and down. We need that. However, there are different ways ups and downs come. We know they're gonna come with nature. But when you, for example, what he's doing is he's manufacturing, intentionally creating a down. So what's a drug that's a downer?
Weed.
Weed is kind of a downer. What's a much bigger downer?
Pills. I don't do drugs like that.
Do you know anything, Chris?
Opiates.
Yeah.
Oh, they're downers, not uppers?
Yeah.
Okay,
Donors.
opiates, perfect.
I mean, heroin.
Definitely.
Heroin's
Heroin's
down?
a better
Okay.
one, yeah.
All right, so boom, you strap a rubber band around your arm, and you just start shooting yourself up with heroin every day, and more with each month that passes. You're going down, right? So now the question is,
Yeah, you're going down if you do heroin every day.
that's what Trump's doing to our economy, right? He's wrapped a rubber band around America's arm, and he's just shooting it up with heroin.
Do you think he's doing this on purpose?
And that's how we got the heroin epidemic.
Do you think it's intentional?
It's absolutely intentional.
Okay.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, is it like does he wish ill will on our country?
No, of course not.
I don't think so. I think the man probably believes what he's doing is correct. He probably has people around him telling him, like, you need to do this. And he's probably like, I like that. That's going to get me more votes. If I bitch and moan about China and how they're taking our jobs, that'll get me more votes. I like what you're saying. But the guy who's been telling that, right, is not necessarily the sharpest guy in the shed. He's not the sharpest tool, right? Like, he's not like a Yale or Harvard professor who's like thought about this, studied with this, talking to the big wigs, and everyone's kind of thinking together. No, this guy's kind of some random dude who picks up random books probably and reads about this shit and then like gives his opinion. Super biased, you know? He probably has a bone to pick with China. So that's what our country's policy is based upon. And then he tells it to Trump, you know? And he tells it to Trump. Trump's like, will it get me votes? Great, I'll do it. So, you know, intentional in some ways. That's what I think. So yeah, that's the markets. That's the presidency of Trump. Man,
that was a lot. How long you been holding that one in?
Yeah, that was going on for a while, right?
He feels relief.
I felt it. It was a lot. I felt it all come out.
I feel like I just went to the bathroom.
Trump. I can't make a fart sound, but if I could, it'd be funny right now.
You can't make a fart sound.
Trump. Oh, I'm sorry.
That was perfect timing.
Trump to Trump to Trump.